Welcome to 10-Minute Monday. And today is a very special day because you're going to get an inside scoop on how to build a dream business that supports your dream. I'm going to be introducing you to Natasha, who is a business strategist, and her company is Inspire and Drive. She's going to be describing and explaining her simple business method. I've also put into the chat a link so that you can follow along with the worksheet that she'll walk you through.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Nancy. Thanks for having me, and lovely to see everyone. Thanks all for taking some time out of your busy schedules to join us today. And as I said, I'm really excited to be here to share part of my simple business method, which really is part of, I'm all about simplicity. I think that's really important. I think we can overcomplicate so many things, but I want to show you how to build a strong foundation for your business that will really help you build a profitable business doing more of what you love. And, you know, that can sound a little bit cliche, but fundamentally, if we're not doing what we love, then why are we doing it at all? So as Nancy mentioned, I usually work with somewhat more established businesses, you know, 6 figures and up and scaling. But I want to let you know that it doesn't matter if you're just getting started or if you've been in business for years and you're trying to go to the next level or get your arms around things and make it a little bit more manageable. The one simple exercise that I'm going to share with you today, some of you might have done something like this before, but it's going to shift your perspective a little bit and hopefully help you have a look at your business in a very different way than you've looked at before. So Nancy, if you can just go to the next slide for me. So the foundation of my simple business blueprint is this, that when we think about business, it's a lot of moving parts, but really I like to think of it just 3 parts, and that's self, business, or team. That's it. So everything we do in business falls under one of these categories, and they all talk to each other. So for example, you can have a great team, but if you're a poor leader, which is in self, or you don't have any processes, which might fall into business, then having a great team isn't going to help you, isn't going to save you time, isn't going to help you make money. So these are all interconnected, and they're sort of like the foundational building blocks of any business models, strategies, processes, anything you do after that. And I like to think of the very first building block is understanding your why. So it's defining why you're doing this, who you serve, and what kind of life you want to live. So this is a piece you might have seen before, this sort of dream life. But if you think about it as a foundation of your business, it takes on a little bit of a different meaning. So as I say, I call this defining your dream life, and it's the first exercise that I do with all of my clients that I work with. And then I'd say, then we let your dream life guide you on everything that comes after that. And so that could include things like, what is the service or product you deliver? Who do you deliver this service to? How do you deliver it? Where do you deliver it from? What is the role that you want to play in your business? And what things do you need other people to do for you? So if you can just go to the next slide, please, Nancy. So Nancy posted this quote right at the beginning. And here's the thing. It's a big mistake I really see people making, that they've got these big successful businesses that are making a lot of money, but are literally sucking the life right out of them. And I just want to remind everyone that money is important, we all know that, but it's not the only driver. And there does sort of reach a critical stage in our business when we've got enough money, and then the other things begin to take on a far greater meaning. And so my goal in what we're about to do today is that when you tie every single action or decision that you make back to how it's supporting your dream life, what you're going to see is things flowing more easily. You're going to have that money coming in, and you're going to be able to have the impact that you want. And most importantly, you're going to live the lifestyle that you want to have as well. So this is the dream life questions that I ask, and the link that Nancy has put in the chat. You can download this dream life cheat sheet or worksheet and work through this. But there's 5 real main questions that encourage people to think about or ask. And you can write this down as we do this or do it afterwards. But the first question is, what impact do you want to make on the world, and why is it important to you? And that doesn't have to be a big world-changing impact. It might be, I want to help one person to, you know, in Nancy's case, to create a great website. You know, it doesn't have to be life-changing, but why is that important to you? And Nancy might have an important why that's important for her. The second question is, I like to sort of tie my dream life sort of back to 3 inspirational words. And I'll tell you what mine are. Mine are creativity, freedom, and fun. So those 3 words are my drivers. And throughout my business model, when I'm deciding whether I will do a project, take on a client, you know, do a presentation like this, I have to ask myself, is it bringing me more creativity? Is it contributing to more freedom? And am I having fun doing it? And if I can't answer yes to those criteria, then I think long and hard about whether I'm doing it and what other real benefit it's bringing to me. So they're sort of like key driver words that I think are very valuable. They're sort of like your personal values in a way. The next question is to identify 3 things you love or are great at doing. Then 3 things that you don't love or are not great at doing. And then the final question is, in your dream life, what's going on in your life? Like what are you doing outside of work? Are you on the island like Lee there? Are you know, where are you living? Who are you with? What kind of things are you doing besides work? Are you, you know, traveling? Are you able to work with a charity? Are you able to spend more time with your family? So really think about what that life beyond work is. And that's probably one of the hardest ones, because as entrepreneurs, we can get really sucked into our business and there's nothing besides work. And I can see a few people nodding their heads. So they're the 5 questions. And now that you have those in your mind, and say spend a bit of time after this, but now you have those in your mind, I want you to think about this in the context of how your business looks today. So are you really passionate about what it is you're doing? You can, these are just yes or no in your brain. And I know when I ask them, people know right away. Is it giving you more of those feelings or addressing those values of those 3 key words? Is it helping you feel creative? Is it giving you more time with your family? Is it making you feel stable and secure? Or are you just like, or is it not? Are you mainly doing things in your business that you love? Or are you doing a lot of things in your business that you're not great at and you don't love, and that are really sucking energy out of you and causing you stress and anxiety and taking you away from the things that you're really good at doing? And finally, when you think about that fabulous picture of dream life, is this business really bringing you closer to that dream life, or are you just kind of spinning those wheels? There's not a right or wrong answer here. It's just a yes or no, right? And it's just your own personal truth as to what you're doing here, and is this really supporting you? And if it's not, if you answered more no's to that, or you're having some doubts, then that's okay. You can easily make some changes. Nancy, can you just go to the next slide? I think that will be on this. Yes. So if it's not supporting your dream life, then change your business model. You don't have to keep staying stuck in it, not supporting that dream life. And, you know, changing your business model doesn't mean throwing everything out. And it doesn't even mean starting from scratch. Like, it can really mean just a few tiny little simple tweaks that can make a big difference. And as I've mentioned a few, you know, maybe getting help for something that you don't like doing or you don't know how to do. It might be time to look at your list of services and say, is there any of these services that are a bit like are not aligned? Now I don't need to offer that service anymore. You don't have to offer everything. Or is there a new service that you'd like to add that might give you a bit more creativity and a bit more fun in your life? Think about that. You might just be able to, I know a few people here today, and, you know, I know some of you are now working from home versus going to an office, or working from a location that gives you a lot of joy. That's not really a change to your business. That's just a change to how you're delivering. And things like automating and delegating tasks can have a really big impact on the amount of free time you have. And that free time might give you more free time outside of the office, or it could just free you up in your work life to do more of those things that you love doing. So they're just some tiny little tweaks that any one of you could make very easily. They don't really even cost any money. Maybe if you're going to relocate home, it might, but they cost very little money in most instances, and they can make a really big difference. And you can now see how this is all tying back to those dream life questions. Because I don't want you to just go and modify your business model without that driving force coming of, how does this support my dream life? If your business does not support your dream life, make some changes. And if you want to hear more about how I can help you with that, Nancy's going to leave some links to both the Dream Life Sheet, my Scale Up for Success course, or an opportunity to have a free discovery call with me if you're interested to hear how, what a plan might be for you to move your forward next step. I'd be happy to talk you through that. So that's really it. It's that simple. 5 simple questions can really change the way you look at everything. And happy to answer any questions, or Nancy, please feel to chip in.
Well, thank you. Behind me, I have a poster for the national parks. And it was very interesting because it was a gift from my son as a Christmas present one year. I had just done this worksheet with Natasha. And it was, well, what is it you want to do? And I said, I want to visit all the national parks, take 1 park a year. And so she said, well, absolutely, that's what you need to put into your business plan. I said, yeah. And, absolutely, it does change everything. It changes how I think about my business, how much I want to make, and when I'm going to take a vacation. Like before, it was like, well, can I take a vacation? It's like, yes, you need to take a vacation. So changing.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that for Nancy, just to build on her national parks, as it turned out, I have a client who is traveling all of the national parks and needed a website built, and I asked Nancy to build that website. So, there's a real overlap. She's able to do the work she's great at. She's working with a client that she enjoys, and it's a subject matter that is of interest to her. So it's interesting how these things start to sort of line up when you get more clarity on what that dream life actually is.
Yeah, it's just putting it out to the universe and seeing what the universe comes back. So it really, you talk about serendipity. So
I can see Elsie smiling there. She's seeing how that manifesting is all working.
Yeah. So please ask a question of Natasha. Anyone, you're all unmuted.
And maybe I'll ask a question to you there just as a prompt. Maybe just raise hand. Who's done like a dream life exercise before?
Is that like vision boarding?
Yeah, it could be a vision board.
Vision board.
Yeah, vision boards are sort of part of that. Yeah, so most of you have. I'm just wondering then, the same sort of raise of hands, have you ever deliberately made that connection between your business model and the actions that you're taking in relation to your dream life?
Nope.
No.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
It's always seemed to me that that's for later, once you get established, once you get, cash flow and whatever. And it may be that we're raised in that self-denial, women especially, well, I'll take care of myself last.
Right. There's a lot of that. And and culturally, our business has always been driven about money and success, right? And our measure of success is usually money and how many things we have. Our measures of success aren't always about how much free time, how calm and happy we feel. They're just really soft measures of success, but they're very important. And, I think if I was reflecting on this, you see those people who say, oh, I can't wait to jump out of bed and start my work today. And I'm sure you've all sort of felt like, oh, well, that doesn't always feel like me. But I think when you're starting from your dream life place, everything is feeding that, and it's just giving you more of that. It feels less like work, and that's really the goal here. And so that's the sort of simplification of let's don't make this complex. There's really only one driver, which is how can I just enjoy my life and have as much free time as I want. And frankly, anyone who's an entrepreneur here, if you weren't interested in having more free time and flexibility, you would be working in an office right now. Yes, just going, no. Anyway, that's my sort of overview of that.
Well, thank you all for coming. And I will follow up with sending you these links via email.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear from any and all of you after you've done this exercise and you've thought about with this business. I'd love to hear what might have come up for you or any thoughts you have about changing up your business. If you just want to message me and say hi, do that as well. I'd love to connect with everyone. I already know some people, and nice to meet Jane and Steve and Lee and someone else. Jean, hi, nice to meet you guys. I know Patricia and Elsie, so it's nice to see them again.
Natasha, if you have one more minute, could you spend just a minute on how you got interested and how you decided to start this specific business?
My background is consulting. I consulted for over 20 years in big corporate, and I think it's an interesting question because I definitely walk my talk. I didn't love what I was doing in the corporate space at all. I didn't love a lot of things about it. I enjoyed the work that I was doing, so the consulting and the models and the processes, I loved that, but give me that freedom and flexibility to feed my creative spark in particular. That's why I decided to work with smaller businesses and more creative people. So I get all of that fun creative thinking and cool artsy vibes, and I'm able to do my sort of linear and logical thinking, which I also enjoy, but in a timeline that I like and from where and when I like and how I like to deliver it. So thank you for asking, Lee. I appreciate that.
So is there to chat with you, do we have to book a discovery call? Is that how?
Who is Jean? Are you asking me that message?
Yes.
You're welcome to just send me a direct message. If you're on Facebook, you can find me there. If you want to chat deeper, then schedule a discovery call. No pressure. It's not a big sales call in any way, shape, or form. Just really happy to find out where you are and offer any suggestions. And if you need some further help, we can go from there. But yeah, for sure, if you've got any questions, feel free to message me or book a call. Either is fine. Thank you so much for having me, Nancy, and thanks everyone for joining and your lovely questions. Have a good day.
If you are viewing this from the YouTube or from my website and you'd like to come to my free trainings, please go to my website, fieldsgraphicdesign.com, and fill out the form at the top of the page. You will not only get an invitation to join me live, you'll also receive a list of my favorite free resources for great photography that you can use on your website or in any project. And also when you join me live on 10 Minute Monday, you'll be able to ask a question about what I've just trained or even about your own website. So I hope to see you on my next 10 Minute Monday. Bye for now.